It's all about the Nike Air Jordan 1 High Retro OG Pine Green today, and what we're going to be looking at specifically is working out whether this right here is going to be my first ever pair of Jordan 1 sneakers. I've not had that many Jordan sneakers in my life, but last week, dang, I did manage to get my hands on a pair of the red cement 3s, and that's my first ever pair of Jordan 3s right there. And there's a whole story about my life, my history with Jordans, why I've got a sneaker channel, all that kind of stuff. But what we're focusing in on today, the point of today's video, is all about working out if these pine greens that are upcoming are gonna be my first ever pair of Jordan 1s. And we'll know that we've gotten to that because at the end of the video you'll be able to help me decide, yes, go ahead and cop these bad boys, or no, there are better Jordan 1s out there to wait for to make your first ever cop. So today it's all about the Nike Air Jordan 1 High Retro OG Pine Green. This is a Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel, Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel des. Mainichi Apturino Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneakers, sneaker releases, and sneaker news. And today it's that pine greens. But before that, I need your help with something else. I just don't understand what OG means. I mean, I know what it means, but I just don't know what it means. It means original, or it means original gangster, or something like that. I thought I had it worked out the other week. Now, I'm about to throw up a link here, and I always say this in my videos, that these links that go up here, you don't have to click them instantaneously. You can wait because they'll be there for the whole video. So if this link is interesting to you, wait till the end of the video and go ahead and check it out. And that link is gonna be to the BB Adapt 2.0s, because they were called OGs and I thought I had it worked out. So here's that link, doing, check that out at the end of the video. And I thought, yes, OG, what it means is it's the very first batch of a sneaker to come out. So the day the sneaker drops for the very first time, whatever colorways drop on day one are OG colorways. I thought, yes, I've worked it out. But then here comes this pine green and it's an OG, and I'm like, why? Why is that OG? There was no way that pine greens were part of the first colorways to drop back in 1985 when the Air Jordan 1 first came out. So I'm just lost. I'm lost again. I don't know what OG means. Which sneakers do you put OG on, and which sneakers do you not put OG on? I just can't work it out. And these guys here, I'm like, okay, it's a retro because they've dropped the colorway before. It's an OG because it's the silhouette that's an original silhouette and they haven't played around with it. So if they did like change up, I don't know, if they changed up the Wings logo on the side or something like that, or the length of the ankle flaps or something, I don't know. If they change up the actual silhouette, it can't be called OG, and it's the silhouette that's OG. I don't know. So if anybody out there does know specifically which sneakers you do put OG on and which sneakers you don't, I'd really appreciate you letting me know in the comments down below, because I really just don't know. But anyway, back to the point of today's video. We're going to have a look at these pine greens and decide whether this should be my first ever cop of the Nike Air Jordan 1s. Like I said, I've got these bad boys. I've not worn them at all yet. You can still see that they've got that the DS tie on the laces there. I haven't worn them yet, and I said in the video, the live video when I unboxed these, ding, and again you can watch that link at the end of the video, the live video when I unboxed these, I talked about never actually wearing them because I love them so much. It's a beautiful sneaker. My first Jordan 3s, and there's a reason why I am not, I have not bought so many Jordans in my life, and I'll put a link to that. Well, the link's in the description down below, but I'll also put a link up here to make it easier for you to find, because it explains why before I owned my own sneaker channel, I don't know if you can own a sneaker channel, but you know what I mean, before I had my own sneaker channel, why have I not owned, or had I not owned any Jordan sneakers before? And I'll put a link to that right here, doing why I've not owned any Jordan sneakers before. But last year in April, I made the Bread 4s my very first Jordan sneakers, and then here these red cement 3s are my second Jordan sneakers, and I'm asking if these pine greens should be my first pair of Jordan 1s, my third pair of Jordan sneakers, my first pair of Jordan 1s. So that's where we are at with that, and we're going to do that by having a look at this sneaker bit by bit and deciding whether or not that should be my number one sneaker. Now, there's unfortunate news for the people here in Tokyo, Japan. These guys are due to drop on February 29th, which is only a couple of days away, but I haven't seen anything in Tokyo, Japan about whether they're going to drop here or not. 日本に発売するかどうかをわかりませんので、お知らせできないんですけど、すみません。So I just said in Japanese, I don't know if these guys are going to drop here in Tokyo, Japan or not, so I can't explain, I can't tell you about that, but I do know they're going to drop overseas on February the 29th. And the question is, am I going to get my hands on these? Now, I've been researching them. I always research sneakers before I sit down in front of the camera, and I know what I'm going to say about the sneakers, and I'm going to talk about them. Today, we're looking at that Air Jordan 1. Tomorrow, by chance, it's going to be an Air Jordan 2, and then by chance, the day after that, it's going to be an Air Jordan 3. So just by chance, I'm doing a 1, 2, 3, which really fits my OCD for the next 3 days. And these guys here, when I researched them, I think the people, the websites and the social media and the places where I looked to get my information, they'd missed a beat. Because they didn't talk about the Wings logo very, very much. And the Wings logo to me is one of the signature features of this sneaker. It's unusual to start a sneaker review on the Wings logo, but we're going to go right there behind me here. And you can see that Wings logo there, and I'd like two things about it. One of the things I like about it is that it's sort of roughed up and faded to give it a kind of authentic and aged look to it. And you can see that the actual detailing on it, where you would see the basketball and the wings and things like that, it's hard to make out. But then what they've done is they've gone ahead and given it a glossy finish, so it has a kind of shine and a sheen about it. So you've got a sort of roughed up, aged look, and then a glossy finish for a sort of modern pop. And I like that. I like that kind of contrast between those two things there. And it's an unusual feature in the Wings logo as far as I'm concerned. I've reviewed something like 450 sneakers for this channel, and it's the first time I've come across a roughed up Wings logo like this, especially with that glossy finish. So I really dig that about these sneakers. Another thing that I dig about them is the contrast in materials. And again, everything that I'm seeing out there talks about smooth leathers and tumbled leathers, but I disagree. What I see is tumbled leathers and kind of semi-tumbled leathers. And it's maybe because the tumbled leather is on the greens, and the greens really pop. So what we'll do is behind me here, we'll have a look at that, the toe box on there. And I'll just let the video run, well, it's not a video, but you know what I mean. I'll let the graphic run behind me here as it moves from the toe box along to the midfoot, the heel, and then up to the ankle. And the thing I want you to be looking at while that's panning and moving around behind me there is that the greens really pop in tumbled leather, and you can really seriously see that they're very clean tumbled leather. But the blacks on there look at first smooth. I don't know where the video is right now behind me, but the black is smooth. But then when you get to certain parts of the sneaker, you can see that it's actually got more of an effect on it than just like being a clean, smooth leather on there. So I think it's more going to be about tumbled leather. I wouldn't be surprised if actually they're both tumbled leathers, but the tumbled leather on the green has a real kind of pop and strong tumbled leather about it, and then the blacks has just not quite had the treatment, but it still is tumbled leather. And hopefully what we've done is we've panned through the whole sneaker, and you'll be able to see from toe to heel and from top to bottom, well, actually from bottom to top, the way that the materials appear slightly different. And it is just pretty much those two colors all the way throughout the upper of this sneaker, that black and the green, and that gives you the pine green effect. The last place that we've got to, and hopefully I've stopped up there, but I think I'll probably have to flip the image behind me here and give you a better look, is up on the tongue where you see that Nike Air branding in red. So it's a black tongue, black tab on the tongue, but then on top of that you've got that Nike Air branding in red. Now there was a sneaker that dropped recently, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, but it had a red branding on the tongue like this. And the colorway, they described it as being university red, something university red, because of that one piece of branding on there. And I think that's a bit much. Last week I did do a review of a sneaker which maybe is called the university red. It was the Foamposite Pros. And they were calling it like black, white, university red. I'll put a link to that thing right there. Again, check those links out at the end of the video. And it's a really clean sneaker, really, really smart sneaker. I really like those foam posits, but they called it University Red because of one little piece of red on there, or a couple of little hits of red. And the same with these guys. I hope there's nowhere out there that the colorway says, you know, pine green University Red, because that would be misleading if you ask me. I'm not a huge fan of being misled over my sneakers and things like that. But yes, up there on the branding, you've got that tongue branding in red on that black tongue, and it's a pretty clean looking finish to the sneaker. I'm not a huge fan of it though. It's out of place, if you ask me, just that one hit of red on the sneaker. There needs to be somewhere else that would balance it out as well. It's just a sort of, I don't know, it's like it's out of place to have that splash of color up on there when the rest of the sneaker is all blacks and greens. So for me, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with these guys, if I want to cop them or not. One of the things that I'm thinking about is, should I cop 2s before I cop 1s? Because I've gone 4 first, 3 second, and then the next sneaker I want to get is, it fits my kind of thinking to go 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. So before I get a 1, I'll get a pair of 2s. But I think realistically speaking, what I need to do is, if sneakers come along that I just absolutely love, like these, and I absolutely love these, then I'll just cop them regardless of what order they come in. I don't absolutely love these pine greens, so I'm not feeling these guys being my first ever pair of Air Jordan 1 sneakers yet. But you might have a difference of opinion. There might be something about them that I've missed out, or something that you want to tell me that says, you know what, these would actually be a great first Air Jordan 1 sneaker for you. So please do let me know in the comments down below if there's something about these sneakers, or you have an opinion really strongly about these being a great first pair of Air Jordan 1s. I totally appreciate hearing from you guys and hearing your perspective and your view about these sneakers and where you think they sit in the sort of, I'd call it a pantheon of Air Jordan 1s, and whether they're worth it to be my first ever pair. So for now though, it's time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. I do totally appreciate it. I usually finish up videos, if I can, if I've got enough links left, with a final link to a playlist of rare sneakers in hand from our good friend Shoe Butter, who drops content on my channel every single Sunday. And I'll do that, but I will remind you that when I do throw up that link up here, we'll give you access to the other links that I've talked about throughout this video, and clicking on one of those guys and checking out another video is truly helpful, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you guys very much for doing that. So here is that link to that playlist, doing right there, rare sneakers in hand, and all that's left for me to do is thank you guys for checking out my content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.